Hello everyone, it's Helen here with Helen. Thanks for joining me in the kitchen. This morning I'm up bright and early making lasagna. It's our son's favorite recipe, and so I wanted to share it with you. This one takes a little bit of time, so you're gonna wanna give yourself at least 45 minutes to an hour because there's a lot of preparation with lasagna. In fact, I never used to make it because I was intimidated by the noodles, believe it or not. And then finally, one day my husband said, Helen, there's nothing to the noodles. And so right now I am boiling up some noodles. It really doesn't matter what kind you use. At the store, I just picked up some of these, the Barilla. They always seem to be really good. And so I used almost a full box. I don't know how many of them I'm gonna use, but I just boiled them up, and that usually takes about 20 minutes. And so right now, I'm just gonna kind of let them drain over here in the sink area. Okay, so before I started making my noodles, we made the sauce. The sauce right here is so delicious. Can I eat it? No, I can't because I'm an acid reflux sufferer. And so anything that has sausage in it, I have to stay away from, or we're gonna make a trip to the ER. The last time I tried it was, I think, on Thanksgiving when we made biscuits and gravy, and it was like, no bueno. And so here in this pot right here, I already made up the sauce, and we make a lot of sauce because my son absolutely loves sauce. So not only the sauce that will go in the lasagna, he likes a whole side bowl of the sauce so that he can dump it on top of it. So he does suffer from a little bit of reflux, but he doesn't care. He finds it to be worth the pain to eat this lasagna. So this is not my recipe. However, I did borrow it. All right, so what I did was I cooked up 2 pounds of hamburger and one little thing of sausage. You can get the mild, you can get the medium, you can get the spicy, whatever you like. This one right here was a mild, breakfast sausage. Just get the Jimmy Dean or whatever knockoff brand you want to get. You mix it in there with your 2 pounds of ground beef, and then you chop up a whole entire onion, finely diced, and then you just start cooking it together. That will probably take you about 20 minutes-ish. It may take you a little bit longer. And then in the interim, I'm sprinkling on garlic, onion powder, garlic powder, and I don't think you can ever have enough seasoning. So I know some people are like, that's a lot of salt. It is, but we like a lot of salt. So we're gonna use all of those ingredients for right now while we're cooking up the hamburger, cooking up the meat, letting everything get really good. Once your meat is fully cooked, this is where you're gonna come in with 2 big cans or containers, whatever kind you like. If you like this, if you like organic, it doesn't really matter. Pick the sauce of your liking, and then you come in with 2 giant cans of the tomato sauce. And I believe this one right here is, I cannot even read it, but you know which ones I'm talking about, the big guys. And I'm gonna dump them into the hamburger. I'm gonna stir it all in, and here's where I'm gonna come in with some more seasoning. So you're going to want to find your favorite Italian seasoning. This one right here is just a private selection Italian seasoning. It says savory and spicy, so it's going to have a little bit of zest, a little bit of spice. I don't measure things out ever if you've watched some of my videos, and that's why I'm not a good baker. But I just went in and I sprinkled it out throughout the whole entire sauce, just gave a good generous portion of it. Then I came in with a little more extra basil. I'm sure this Italian seasoning had some basil in it, but I sprinkled some extra. And then I also came in with some sea salt, and I just all throughout it because, again, I love salt. And then I came in with some fresh garlic, and I didn't use a fresh garlic clove, which you could, and it would be amazing. But I did come in with some of that garlic paste, and I just did 3 and now it's done. It's out. I already threw it in the trash, so I can't really show you what I used, but you know what kind I'm talking about. You can usually find it in your produce section and where they have all the veggies and stuff. It'll be by the thyme and the fresh cilantro, and so you can just squeeze it in there. It's easy, and then you don't have to worry about dicing it up. And then afterwards, you just sit there and you let it simmer for another 10 to 15 minutes. And if you come in and look at it, now it's nice and thick. Okay, so there we have it. Once you have your noodles made, once you have your sauce made, now you're gonna come in here with the filling. What we did was we used 1 container of the ricotta cheese, small container, and you're gonna use the whole entire thing. I came in with some of the good cottage cheese, and you're not gonna use this whole entire container. You're gonna use a half of container on this, as much as you like. I don't really measure it out, but I just did about half. And then I came in with 1 egg. This is a little secret, and I learned it from my mom. But it's gonna give it a little bit of that fluff, a little bit of that like texture, and then you're just gonna stir it all together, just like this. And you're just gonna fold it and whip it in. So this is where I'm going with this. Okay, and you don't have to go crazy. You just wanna make sure that it's nice and folded. And then just kind of come in with this. And then for me, I know that this is gonna seem a little strange. I'm gonna come in again with a little bit of seasoning. Just a tiny bit of some basil. You don't have to do this. I like to do this. Maybe just of salt. And if you wanted, at this point, you could throw in a little bit of pepper too, but I'm not going to throw any pepper in today. All right, so let's do this really quick. We're going to make up the lasagna. Got a big giant lasagna pan, finally invested in this guy right here. It's a non-stick. This thing is amazing. Sprayed it down with some Pam, and then you're just going to start with your meat mixture. So I don't know. I know everybody kind of does this a little bit different, and we didn't make quite as much this time because we've been wasting some of the lasagna, oddly enough, which you would think, why would people not eat that whole entire pan? Because we don't have a lot of people, well, I can't eat it for one. My mom, she doesn't eat a ton. And my husband, he eats like maybe a piece, but then he's kind of like, I'm good. I don't need lasagna every single night. So that's where we are with that. So I thought maybe we won't make quite as much, but we'll just spoil the boy. You know how 17-year-olds are. They need a lot of yummy, delicious food because they're still growing boys. All right, now I'm gonna take noodles and I'm going to put them right here. I think we already kind of missed a little step, but it'll all still turn out really, really good. And they're hot. Ooh, hot, 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 hot. Okay, I'm gonna come in with the cottage cheese, I'm sorry, puppy's in here. Cottage cheese mixture. That should have probably went on top of the meat, guys, but honestly, it's all gonna work itself out here. You're just going to want to spread it about. Again, I improvise. That drives people crazy. When my dad was alive, he loved to cook and he was really good at it, but he would teach me recipes and then I would never go off of the way he taught me how to make them. And he'd be like, you can't do that, little bear, because they're not gonna turn out. And honestly, I always felt like it turned out fine. So my son will be the judge on this, trust me. He doesn't miss a beat. So if I've messed something up, he will recognize it right away. So maybe I'll wait to post this video till after he's eaten it. So he's not like, I knew it tasted funny or it tasted different, but we'll see. But here you go. You've got some meat mixture. You could have put the cottage cheese and then the noodles, but we did the meat, noodles, cottage cheese, and then you're just gonna do a layering thing right here. So mozzarella cheese, let's grab that out of the fridge. Hopefully we have a bunch because you're going to want some mozzarella cheese. And we got a bag. So I thought we were gonna have to go to the store. I think we should have enough, but you're going to want at least a big giant bag of this because you're going to dump it on top of this, literally. Okay, so right now we're not gonna go like too crazy, but we are gonna come in and sprinkle a little bit of the cheese now on top of that. Yummy. Again, I'm not gonna measure it out, but if you guys need to measure it out, I understand. Measure it to your liking again, but there we go. Just make sure that you get it everywhere. Everything is covered. Okay. And then we're gonna come back in and we're just gonna keep repeating until we are almost done. So let me just kind of dump this. And you wanna take your time too, because I do think that that matters when you're making lasagna a little bit. This isn't one of those recipes, again, that can be rushed. I got up at 6:30 this morning. I was drinking my coffee and I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna do it because it's one of those things that you know is going to take some time. And then my husband was just like, are you really cooking lasagna this morning at 6:30? And I was like, yeah, I really am. Okay, I'm gonna do it the right way this time. And I'm gonna come in with the remaining of this cottage cheese ricotta egg mixture. So there we go. And then could have probably made a little bit more, probably so, oops. But we're just gonna try to spread what we can, what's left on top of it. which will be fine. There's plenty here, so put it on top of that. Make sure that it's nice and evenly spread out. Okay. And then we are going to come in with some more noodles. Oh, I think I made just enough of them too, which is cool. So if you didn't have enough, you'd have to start digging out some of the old ones. So I even had some extra. I'm just gonna leave it like this again because I'm not making quite as big of a lasagna this time. So I have this. I obviously have a lot of meat sauce left. At this point, you could cover it with some more meat sauce if you would like to, or you could just leave it like this. I do think I'm gonna put a little more meat sauce and then I'm gonna throw some cheese on it and then call it a day. So I'm just gonna kind of come in with this. Again, it's however you like to have your lasagna, but then obviously you can make it up with some garlic toast or whatever you like. I feel like this is plenty. I don't know that you need all of the garlic toast and everything to go along with it. Maybe a little side salad, but this is so filling. And then last but not least, you're gonna come in with the rest of the cheese. And there is going to be a lot of cheese. And you are going to bake this on 350 for, I would say, at least 40 minutes. Give or take. You kind of figure out like how you want it to look. I like the cheese to be very, very cooked on top. I almost like it to be boiling. And if you are really wanting to do this, you could put it on broil for about like 3 to 5 minutes when it's done, and then just make that cheese like kind of like brown, almost like black. So it's nice and crispy. So that's kind of how we like it, but just by baking it, it should be able to do that. I'm not going to cover this lasagna, but you could. Some people would cover it in some tin foil. I'm not going to cover it that way today, but again, that might kind of help if that's the way you like to do it. But here you go. This is what it's going to look like. You could even add a little more cheese. I know those people who like this recipe, they would add more cheese, but we're out. So this is what you get. This is what it looks like, and I'll have to make another video and show you what it looks like after it's finished. So I just wanted to show you guys what the final product looks like. So here's the lasagna. Come in close, check it out. All of this right here is that bubbly cheese that I was talking about. Ooh, and all I did was broil it for about 5 minutes once it was done baking for about 40 minutes at 350. And so this is what it ends up looking like. I'm gonna scoop a big giant portion of it onto a plate right now so you guys can see it. My son is over here drooling, literally. He cannot wait to dig into this. I'm gonna give him a big old serving because he deserves it. So we're gonna give him 2 big giant pieces of this. He's probably gonna be stuffed, but here we go. Okay, let's just make sure it's all like this. There's no way to get this out of the pan beautiful. And I've even been letting it cool for a little bit, but go in for that. Look at that. Oh, you've got your ricotta and your cottage cheese and your meat and your sausage, your seasonings, all of the good stuff, your mozzarella cheese dumped on top. And we've got the extra sauce that I was talking about. And here I just heated that up. It had cooled down just a little bit. And this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go in with all of that yummy sauce, dump it right on top. Hello. This is what's for lunch. This is what's for dinner. And then of course, you gotta come in with a little bit of garlic salt. Check this out. If you want to add a little bit of Parm cheese on top of it, go for it. If you want to do some crushed red peppers, be my guest. But there you go. That's what it looks like. Have a great day, everyone. God bless. Bye.